Johansen was born in the New York City borough of Staten Island to a librarian mother, Helen, and an insurance sales representative father, who had previously sung opera. His mother was Irish-American and his father was Norwegian-American. He was one of 5 siblings. Johansen began his career in the late 1960s as the lead singer of the Vagabond Missionaries, a local Staten Island band, and later in the early 1970s as the singer-songwriter in the proto-punk band the New York Dolls. The New York Dolls were part of the Mercer Arts Center scene, appearing on the bill at a New Year's Eve 1972 gig with Ruby and the Rednecks. They released 2 albums, the eponymous New York Dolls, 1973, and Too Much Too Soon, 1974. The bulk of the material was written by Johansen and guitarist Johnny Thunders. The Dolls were sometimes well received critically, but did not succeed commercially. In 1975, Johnny Thunders and Jerry Nolan left the band. Johansen and Sylvain, along with Peter Jordan, Chris Robinson, and Tony Machine, continued playing as the New York Dolls until 1976, after which Johansen embarked on a solo career. His first 2 solo albums, the eponymous David Johansen and In Style, featured several enduring originals. His self-titled album peaked at number 91 in Australia in August 1978. Sylvain frequently performed with him, and his band covered many Dolls songs in concert. His live albums Live It Up and the David Johansen Group Live document Johansen's reputation as an exceptional concert performer. The studio releases Here Comes the Night, which includes a signature number, Heart of Gold, and Sweet Revenge again showcased his strengths as a writer of new material and featured a guest appearance by jazz saxophone player Big J. McNeely. A number of the songs on Here Comes the Night were co-written with South African musician Blondie Chaplin. In 1982, Johansen was the opening act for The Who at several U.S. East Coast concerts, including Shea Stadium in New York City and Capitol Center near Washington, D.C. In the late 1980s, Johansen achieved moderate commercial success under the pseudonym Buster Poindexter, accompanied by the Uptown Horns, performing jump blues, traditional pop, swing, and novelty songs. He also appeared as part of the house band on the television program Saturday Night Live. As Poindexter, he scored his first hit song, Hot Hot Hot, which, in an interview on National Public Radio's Fresh Air, he called the bane of my life, due to its pervasive popularity. Hot 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 was initially written and recorded by Montserratian soca artist Arrow. As Poindexter, Johansen often appeared with his band, the Banshees of Blue. Early Poindexter releases combined an eclectic selection of covers with Johansen's own compositions. Johansen went on to issue Buster's Happy Hour, an album of songs thematically linked by their subject matter, alcohol. It was followed by Buster Poindexter's Spanish Rocket Ship, which focused on salsa and merengue music. Johansen acted in several films during the 1980s and 1990s, and in 2000, had a brief role on the HBO drama series Oz. He appeared in the television series The Adventures of Pete and Pete in the episode On Golden Pete, in which he played a park ranger. He appeared in the Muppet television segment of an episode of the Jim Henson Hour. Among his more prominent roles are that of the wisecracking ghost of Christmas Past in Scrooged, 1988, which starred Bill Murray, as well as the part of Looney in the movie Let It Ride, 1989, playing opposite Richard Dreyfuss. He starred opposite Hulk Hogan and Sherman Hemsley in Mr. Nanny, 1993, and co-starred with John C. McGinley in the movie Car 54, Where Are You? 1994, based on the television series. He can be seen in the Jim White documentary film Searching for the Wrong-Eyed Jesus, in which he sings a version of Geeshie Wiley's Last Kind Words while in a motel room. He also had a supporting role with Mick Jagger and Emilio Estevez in the movie Free Jack, 1992. He also played Halston, a hired hitman, in the anthology film Tales from the Dark Side, the movie, 1990, in the segment The Cat from Hell. He was also the guest music artist on the Miami Vice episode The Dutch Oven, 1985, where he sang King of Babylon. Johansen most recently portrayed the bartender in the Bill Murray Netflix special A Very Merry Christmas. Johansen voiced the villain Ding Dong Daddy in the original Teen Titans animated series in the Season 5 Episode 9 episode, Revved Up. Johansen's legs appeared in John Lennon and Yoko Ono's 1971 film Up Your Legs Forever. He also voiced the Bertor character in the 2021 Centaur World animated Netflix television series. Johansen worked consistently with Sylvain, drummer Tony Machine, formerly an agent who worked for Labor and Krebs, a member of the New York Dolls in 1975 to 1976, and a fixture in many David Johansen groups, and throughout the Buster Poindexter period, and Brian Cunine, guitarist and banjo player with Buster Poindexter and the Harry Smiths, as well as keyboard player with the New York Dolls for the first reunion engagement and the One Day It Will Please Us to Remember Even This CD and tour. In September 2020, Johansen released a cover of Sinking Ship by Gypsy. On July 7, 2020, Showtime Documentary Films announced that filmmaker Martin Scorsese would direct a new feature film on Johansen. The Showtime documentary, Personality Crisis, One Night Only, was released on April 14, 2023. Scorsese was joined in the making of the film by his frequent co-director David Tedeschi, and, with Johansen, Scorsese was interviewed about the film by MSNBC host Joe Scarborough. Johansen wed actress Serinda Fox in 1977, but divorced within a year in 1978. From 1983 to 2011, Johansen was married to photographer Kate Simon. In 2013, Johansen wed artist Mara Hennessy. In 2020, Johansen was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer and a brain tumor, which brought an end to his musical career. He fell and broke his back in 2 places in November 2024 and required surgery. His stepdaughter launched a fundraiser to help with his treatment February 10, 2025. He died from cancer at his Staten Island home on February 28, 2025, at the age of 75.